What's up, guys? How you all doing? Hey, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be checking out how to do HomeAssistant dashboards. That's right, the long-awaited video is finally here. Yay! What we're going to be doing is going to be showing how to take your Home Assistant and create a very nice, slick little interface that you can run on an iPad or some sort of tablet or your phone, or even what we're going to do is a dedicated Raspberry Pi with the Raspberry Pi touchscreen. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please stay tuned because it's coming up right here, right now on In My Spare. Okay, guys, so like the intro said, we're going to be checking out how to create a HomeAssistant dashboard. I apologize for this taking so long to bring to you guys because been having a lot of problems with the old 3D printer. So while we're fixing that, you guys voted and I listened. You guys said you wanted to do a two-parter on this so you could see how to configure it and do all the programming, and then later on we'll deal with the printing out the bezel and all the different 3D printable parts that we'll need to make a nice, sleek and clean installation of this. Today we will be using the Raspberry Pi 7-inch touchscreen. This is one that you can order off of Amazon and whatnot, but it's basically, yeah, like it says, it's a little 7-inch touchscreen. In fact, I can probably show it to you real quick. Bring up the bench here. So there it is. So it's a nice little touchscreen. Works really well. I've been really impressed with it. It's very responsive and everything, so that's a cool deal. If you want to follow along with me and you would like to purchase one of these, as always, there's links down in the description for the Amazon. You click on that, you order it from there, or you order anything else from there. Helps out the channel if you follow that link down below. It's one of my affiliate links, so definitely go check that out. As well as also, I'll take this time to say that with Christmas being around the corner and everything, a great thing to do is get some of that Amazon Prime action. I've got a 30-day free trial down below. You just click the link, follow it, you get a 30-day free trial of Amazon Prime, which that gives you 2-day shipping on anything in Amazon Prime. I don't care what it is, as long as it has the Prime next to it. 2-day shipping for free. So that's worth it right there, especially if you want to just use it just for this holiday season, get some last minute gifts. It works great, as well as you get access to the Amazon Prime Video and a bunch of other features. So definitely check out the links down below. Now onward and upward into the configuration of this. What I've done is I've gone ahead and installed the HassIO, or HASS.io. This is basically, it comes as an image, which is actually very easy to put together. That way you don't have to burn Raspbian and then download a whole bunch of software and try to configure it and everything. It's all configured for you. It's ready to go. You just put it on there. If you would like to see a video on how to set up HassIO or to put it together initially, definitely let me know down in the comments down below and I will build a video for you. I was thinking about doing that just to show you how slick and easy it is to use. But let me know down in the comments. If enough of you tell me, I will do it. All right, so we got that installed. So that's what this is going to be showing. I'm going to be showing you how to do this on HassIO because it's so super simple and super slick and easy to use. So you go to HassIO now. I have already done this, okay, because I want to make sure that it works. So I'm just going to be taking you through the steps of it. What you're going to need is you're going to need a few add-ons, okay? So how you get these is you go to the add-on store. I always download the configurator, which the configurator is an app that basically is a great spot. It has a web UI to it to hold all of your basically all your configurations. It's just a config editor is all it is. So instead of you having to SSH to the box, you can do it all right here, right from the Home Assistant dashboard. All right. So you'll need to put this together. You can get down here in this config section and you can password protect it if you want to, or you don't have to. It's okay. But you can launch a web UI with it. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that now because we're going to need it. So that launches up our web UI. Okay. And like I said, this is basically the deal. In fact, we're going to get into this. I was last working on the dashboard, but see, you have this list right here, and like there's your configuration.yaml file and all the different pieces and parts and components of that. So you've got all that stuff, and then you can just edit it right here and there and save it. There'll be a little save icon up here in the corner, which you can't see because my picture's in the way. But if I were to bring it down right by that X right here, that's where the save icon will be. And so you can save save what you've done. All right, so that's the configurator. We need that. But the main thing you need for your dashboard, go over here and click on it. Or actually, I guess I can look at this screen. Oh, and then the main thing you need is this AppDaemon. Okay, so again, it's in the store, but it's not on the official ads. If you go down, it's in the community ads or add-ons, and it's the AppDaemon. Okay, so the AppDaemon is what we're going to be using. So once you download it, you will actually, it'll tell you that you want to install it. It'll ask if you want to install it. These buttons, none of these will be here, and you'll click install. So it'll take it just a little bit. It'll spin for a little while, and depending on which Raspberry Pi you have this installed on, it'll be faster or slower based on the processor. So anyway, once that gets done, you will then click start, because there'll be a start button here, and that will actually load up AppDaemon. Okay, and what you will have from AppDaemon is originally you'll have a main dashboard that'll be in there, like a hello one, and what you do is you hit launch web UI. Now me, I've password protected mine. I'm going to go through how to do all that, but you'll have a main one that's in here that's like a demo one, but we're going to skip that, and we're going to go straight into how do we set up AppDaemon. Okay, so now there's tons of videos on this that goes really in depth on this, because I mean the list is huge on what you can do. In fact, I can go ahead, I'll show you with this complete documentation link. There's this the main one actually is here, I'll just Google it. So AppDaemon, there it is, dashboard install configuration. I already had it. So all these links will be down in the description. But anyway, this is basically all the stuff about configuring it and how to write stuff to it. So if you really want to dive deep, there's tons of videos to dive deep on it. We're just going to hit the highlights here. If you want me to do in-depth videos, definitely let me know, but I'm going to try to hit the highlights here so we don't get ragingly long, even though this video probably will be kind of long because I like to talk. So anyway, let's go into the configurator is what we're going to want to go into, and we're going to add some stuff to our YAML file. So what we're going to do is, from here, I believe this should be okay, our normal configuration YAML file. Nothing special. I've just got some simple things connected and whatnot on there. Nothing special. What it is once you install the AppDaemon, you will get a AppDaemon folder. See right here? So you'll click that, and this is where the YAML file for the AppDaemon will reside. So we're going to click on the AppDaemon YAML. I had to hide the passwords and stuff because I forgot about it. So if you come in here now, here's where things get weird. Normally you can keep what's called a secrets file. There's a secrets.yaml file that's in here. It's right there. I'm not going to click on it because that has all my passwords in it. Basically, how the secrets file works, if we pretend that this is a secrets file for a minute, you will type the heading of a password. So you might say like API pass : and then you'll give it some password, blah, 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 in the secrets file. Okay, this will be in the secrets file. Then what you can do is then in the normal files, if you need to add a password, like the password here, you do a bang and you do secret space and then that heading that you put. So you would put, you know, like what I said, API password or something like that. And then what it will do is it should recognize this API password as being a header in the secrets file, and it will use it. For some reason, that works everywhere else but here. So for some reason here, you will have to type in your password that you want to use on things in this file. So what I did was, when it first builds, it'll generate its own token. Okay. Now, theoretically, you should be able to use your own tokens, which are called long-lived tokens, for accessing HomeAssistant, because the API daemon has to actually, it's a daemon that just runs in the background, and it has to access the HomeAssistant API. Okay. And so the easy way of doing that is to create tokens, long-lived tokens, because they're super huge usually, and they're very encrypted. Problem is, you have to put the token in here, and when you put it in here, because you can't use the secret, for some reason it overwrites it with like its own self-generated token. I don't know. If you know, tell me down below. So the best thing to do is just leave this alone. Okay, leave this alone. Leave whatever token that it has self-generated. Leave that there. Okay, and then come down here, and the main thing I want to do if you want added security to your dashboard is add a dash password. Okay, so this parameter will allow you to password protect your dashboard. So if you log into the dashboard, it'll actually come up and ask you for a password before you can actually get to your dashboard. So this is the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. There are many different avenues that you can take in changing up these different URLs to fully qualified domain names and other things, and get really complicated. But for right now, let's just keep it simple. Let's do the KISS principle right now. So leave all this the same, okay, like I said, and maybe add your dash password. Okay, just add your password and you should be good to go. Now this is with all the latest stuff. So this is the latest Home Assistant. Well, it's actually Home Assistant version 8.4, I think, or .84 or something like that is what I'm running. I'm running the step under the latest at this point when this video is being made, as well as I'm running AppDaemon version 3. Okay, so not version 2, version 3 is what I'm running. So until they come out with version 4 or version 3.2 or some maintenance release that fixes these problems, this is how it's gonna work. Okay, so I will update this, and that's all you got to do. You hit save. Once you've done that, then once you've done that, you're going to come over here and we are going to click restart. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to hit restart, and hopefully if all goes well, you should be able to come down here and hit refresh on the log, and you should start seeing it initialize. Okay, so we're going to hit refresh. Oh, it takes it a little bit. I'm running right now, I'm running a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, so I'm running the latest Raspberry Pi. It's nice and peppy. I would definitely suggest, if you're going to run this on a Raspberry Pi, okay, run it on, go ahead and spend the money, run it on a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, because it runs quite well. In fact, there, it's already restarted. I ran this on my Raspberry Pi 2 B Plus, and it was really slow. You had to wait forever for stuff to reload. Now, once it was loaded, it was nice and fast, and I mean, it did just fine. But if you had to reload something, like restart one of these applets or something, it takes forever. So I would highly recommend a Raspberry Pi 3 B Plus. Okay, so now that that's done, let's go ahead and open the web UI. So it's going to ask us for a dashboard password because we have that in there. Okay, so normally you would have that Hello World dashboard would be in here, and you could click that, and that one's kind of boring. I've already created a main dashboard for myself here, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's check out how to actually create your own custom dashboard. All right, so we're going to go back to our configurator. Now that we're back to our configurator, we're going to move over to the AppDaemon. We're going to go down to the folder called Dashboards. And this is normally where that Hello World one would be. I just delete it. You can click over here. You can either download it or you can delete it. And then you just create a new one. And the easiest way to do that is you hit New File and you name it whatever you want. Like I name mine main layout. We'll say sub layout .dash. And make sure you put the .dash after it and hit OK. And that's going to give you the new dashboard, okay, for you to put stuff in. Now, what I did, I'm just going to leave this alone and go to the main one that I have. Now, let's see. Let me get this bigger for you guys so you guys can actually see what's happening here. All right, so what I got going on is I've got the title, and I called it just main panel. First thing we have to do is everything is done in like a rows and columns. Okay, so it's just like a normal like spreadsheet layout or a matrix layout, however you want to say that, but it's rows and columns. So what we've done is with widget dimensions, we're having them 120 by 120. I can't remember if that's, I don't think that's pixels because that would be teeny tiny. It's these the units that it uses, and 120 by 120 is good. These are all just kind of base standard units. You can play with it and see what the sizes do, if it makes things bigger, smaller, whatever, just to get your feel for this. But this is just a good standard starting point. Okay, so I've got the widget size. I just saw a little head go by. I've got the widget size, which is how big our widgets are going to be. And then I've got some widget margins, so that's the space between the widgets. And then how many columns wide is it? Okay, because I'm turning the screen sideways, because remember we've got our little 7-inch touchscreen, so it's going to be sideways, and so this tells you how far across. And what I've noticed is with these dimensions up top here, about five units will fit across the screen, 5 columns worth. Okay, and then we got some global parameters. that are different things that I honestly, precision 1, use Haas icon. Yeah, use Haas icon. That would be like for the switches and stuff like that. If you have any switches that you've customized the icons for or something, then you can use those. Those are just some global parameters. Honestly, I cut and paste that in. So I honestly haven't played with it. So you guys can play with it. But I know it leaves pretty good. And then we've got down here. Hold on just a second. Yes, honey. Well, I have visitors. I'm almost done. So anyway, what I've done down here is gone ahead and created some stuff. Now I went ahead and created a widget is what it's called, because I have a Nest thermostat and I added my Nest, so I needed to add the climate control one because I wanted to play with the size and whatnot of the different widgets that you have. So you can normally just go ahead and let the widget be the size that it's going to be, and that means, when I mean widget, it's the thing that you're going to touch. So really all you need, we'll get to the, let me come back to this, okay? So we're going to talk about the layout here. Really, this is all you need is the layout. Now, each layout, I guess you'd say entry here, is another row on the display. So it's going to be line number, like, so from line number 25 to 26, that's 2 rows, okay? And then each one has, and each item in there that I put comma separated with, each one of these items is a different column, okay? So I've got 3, and remember, we've got 5 columns max, so basically I can only put 5 things on a row, okay? And then I honestly don't know how many rows will fit on this. We may have to play around with it to get more rows fit on it. Right now, I haven't maxed it out. So anyway, but that's how this works. So what I did was I want to put my clock on there, right? So I'm going to do the clock. That's the entity, okay? And then I've got 2 by 1. What that means is it's going to take up 2 spaces, 2 standard, widget spaces, row spaces, okay? But it's only going to take 1 column. So it's rows by column. So it's going to take 2 row slots by 1 column slot, okay? And then what you do, like I've got a couple of TP-Link switches. What you do to get these entity names, if you don't know what they are, it's real easy. If you go back to your Home Assistant, okay, and we go and we click on this under Developer Tools, this little greater than, less than sign, this is going to list out every defined entity excuse me, that you have. So it's pretty easy. If you want something like, I wanted my TP-Link switch, you just cut and paste this. You just right click and copy it or whatever, and then just come back over to your configurator, and then you just paste it in. Notice that it's literally the exact same name. So that's literally all you have to do to add these in. And doing it this way, adding these in this way, just takes a standard approach. It has a standard font size. It uses the name that is on your normal page. So if I go back to my overview, so like downstairs Christmas tree, it's going to use this name. It's going to use this little icon. It's all going to be standard font sizes and everything when you add it just by adding the entity ID to the layout. Now, when you get into widgets, or if you want to define more things, like maybe you want the font to be bigger, you want the text to be maybe a different font, or you want to add, maybe you can even add CSS to it as well if you want to. Then you come up here and you define a widget. You basically, this is arbitrary. You can name your widget whatever you want it to be. I chose climate control. Okay. And then you say, what widget type is it? Is it a sensor? Is it climate? Is it weather? Is it a switch? Is it what is it? And so of course I chose climate. Okay. And then entity. So now I need the entity ID. So what I did was came back here, grabbed my climate upstairs as the entity ID for my temperature deal for my Nest, basically. And so that's the entity ID I use. And then I played around with the font sizes. 600 I thought was a little big. I may back that off to like 300 or something. But level 1 style for this is going to be like the main temperature. Then the level 2 style is on the Nest thermostat stuff, is whether it's in automatic mode, heat mode, cold mode, what mode is it in. And then I've got the unit style, which is for the Fahrenheit or Celsius. Now, I haven't got the units to display right, and I haven't figured that out yet. I may try lowercase f, but I haven't gotten the units to display right. So if you know that, let me know down below. But anyway, these are your different fonts. I titled it Nest. This is a way that you can rename it if you want to. But you get a whole bunch of different parameters. And then you just call your widget name. So down here, I called it Climate Control. And I made this one 2x2. So it's going to take 2 columns and 2 rows. So it's going to be fairly good size little widget on my page. Okay, and then I also put in the thermostat target, so I can see what the targets are set to. I can see the temperature, but then I can see where it's driving to. Okay, and we'll see that pretty much right now. So I've got that all saved and everything. Here, I'm going to zoom back out because this is kind of crazy huge. Once you save all that, you just come back to your Hoss.io, come back to your AppDaemon, and you just restart it. Now, I've already got it restarted, and it's already up and going. So definitely check this out. So I'm going to go over here. Oh, hold on. I got to get my bench back. Oh, so there's the bench. In fact, let's just make that big because I kind of want to stay over there for a minute. Okay, so this is our bench that we got over here sitting. So I'm going to sit kind of sideways. So I'm going to go ahead and tap this. So here we are. So what I'm going to do is, first thing you need to do also is you need to install a keyboard, basically an on-screen keyboard for this guy. And I have the one that I used. Let me see if I can pull up my notes real quick while we're sitting here. Okay, so what I used was the XVK DB, or BD, sorry, XVK BD is what I used, which is the keyboard one. In fact, here, let me just take this note and I'll show it to you. Let's see here. Let me make the font large enough for you guys to be able to see it, and then I'll drag it over here. So let me go back to there we go. So this is what we need to do. You have this XVKBD. So on your little one, let me get my bench, on this guy right here, you're going to want to install this. So you install it by doing sudo apt-get install that, and it should be good to go. And then basically where it's going to be found is you'll either have one of two places. You'll have an other menu that's in here that's not part of the normal, it'll say other, or it'll be in accessories and it'll just say keyboard. And see, there's mine's right there. So there's my little on-screen keyboard. You're going to need this because obviously if we put this in a bezel and stuff, you're not going to be able to plug a keyboard into it. And two, you're going to need to be able to maximize the screen. So let's go ahead and pull this now up here. There we go. All right. So let me try to get that glare off of there. Let's tip it a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully it's somewhat clear. I'll try to get it closer. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I've got the keyboard open, so now I'm going to open the web browser. So I'm going to touch the web browser button, so that way we'll launch that. Okay, and that's it, Chromium. And now I'm going to go to the dashboard page, which, if you remember, it's 192, or at least it's your whatever your address is. Mine's 192, whatever. But then it's :5050. So it's your normal Home Assistant address, but :5050. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to kind of get away from the microphone to do this. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so see, now it's asking me for my password, which I already saved my password. Like I said, I've done this before. So we're going to click login. And there it is. And see, even there's that sub layout one that I made. So see, as long as you name it with .dash after it, it'll pick it up and try to use it. Of course, that's going to be blank because we didn't put anything in it. So I'm going to click main dashboard now. Get our main layout. And there it is. Now, that doesn't look very cool because we've got the bar, the top bar, and the title bar, and all that stuff. So what you can do is Chrome, or Chromium, whatever you want to call it, has the ability, if you press F11, it will full screen it. So let's go ahead and do that. If I press F11, it's going to full screen it. Now that looks pretty cool. Now that looks like an actual dashboard. So now here we can back the camera off. See, now that actually looks like an actual dashboard to look at stuff with. So there's the Nest, our clock, our 2 Christmas tree lights, and then that one deal, which I may end up turning that into a custom widget so I can make the font bigger. I don't like that being so small. But as you can see, it does work, and it does work. I can turn, in fact, I have a Christmas tree over here somewhere that I'm turning on and off with it. So, oh, you can see it. You can see it behind me. Here, watch. See the Christmas tree right there? Behind me? Watch this. Off. On. So, yeah, so that way you can turn stuff on and off with it. You can see your Nest. all that stuff. Now, the way to get out of this, because you're like, now wait a minute, without the keyboard, how do I push F11? Not to worry. The cool part about this, if you tap and drag, you'll actually go back. Okay, so that's like hitting the back button. Then you just tap and hold and choose exit full screen at the top. And that's how you get out of it. So if you ever need to reboot it or do other things or whatever, that's how you get out of it. Okay, so that's how that works. So that is pretty much in a nutshell how to get all of that working. Okay, now there could be something that you might want to add to it. Like, let's add a little flair to it. You've got a few different options here. There is what you have to do is on the end of the URL. So here, I'm going to go there. So let's go back to our layout. On the end of this URL, this layout, if you add a question mark and skin and then equals, so I'm going to do that now. Hang on. Then an equal sign. Let me see if I can zoom in on that and see if you guys can see it. Sorry that this camera is kind of a low resolution camera. It kind of sucks. Okay, there it is. So skin equals. Now, you've got a few different skins to choose from, and I'm going to go through them real quick for you. You've got the Zen skin, which is kind of like a, well, you'll see. So, and what it does is it gives you kind of this Zen kind of spiffy looking, skin. So that's the Zen theme, okay? So you also have Obsidian, which honestly this one's probably my favorite one. Let's make sure I can spell it. There we go. I don't know, this one I really like. I don't know, I like that kind of like the space look to it. It looks like the moon behind glass or something. I don't know, it just looks cool. But anyway, that's the Obsidian. You also have Glassic, that's like a glassy look. Watch this. And so it's fairly simple. It has kind of like a I don't know, sandblasted background to it or something like that. And then there's Simply Red, which is really red. I'll show you. And it's really red. But anyway, so those are some of the different skins that you have. And if you're getting ready to ask, yes, you can make your own skins. It's pretty involved, but you can do it. So check out the links down below. So guys, thank you very much for watching. This is going to wrap it up. I hope this didn't go too long, and I hope I didn't go too fast for anybody. But if you have questions, if you have anything, definitely let me know down in those comments. I love reading your comments. I love answering your questions. So definitely let me know. Check out the forum down below. I'd like to put together a community. Or I was thinking, since I've been doing stuff on Reddit, I finally got enough karma to open my own subreddit for the channel. Would you guys be interested in a subreddit? Would that be easier for you instead of trying to go to the Google groups and sign up for a forum or whatever? I'm just trying to get a way where we can bring us all together, so as we talk about these similar topics, we can help each other out, because I'm only one guy. There's now 11,000 of you now, and I can only answer so many questions or whatnot in a certain amount of time. So I'm thinking if we can get maybe a community going, and if it would be easier for you guys, if a lot of you guys are on Reddit, definitely let me know, because I'll go ahead and fire that up, and we'll get a Reddit subreddit going that's for this channel. So that way you guys can communicate with each other as well as me and everything else. And I check that quite often. I'm usually on Reddit quite a bit, checking things. I've kind of gotten addicted to it, to tell you the truth. So let me know about that down in the description, as well as check out those links to the 7-inch Raspberry Pi Touch. I'll also be linking in down there the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and some chargers, some other things basically that gets this going for you if you would like to maybe purchase this whole project as maybe a gift for somebody or something. I don't know, but that gives you all the stuff down below. If you have a maker in the family, you run across this video and you want to know what I'm using to do this, I'll put it all down in the description. And like I said, if you follow those links and you happen to not even buy that, or just want to buy something else, if you want to support the channel, just use those links whenever you buy stuff off Amazon, and it helps me out on the channel. As well as check out that Amazon Prime down there, because that is actually a really good deal, especially if you only want to use it for the month of December, and that way you can get a whole bunch of cool stuff. 2-day free shipping, that's awesome. You can just cancel it after that, no problem. So hit that up down below. Check me out on all the different social medias, and guys, with that ought to do it. I will see you in the next video.